Morals get a little muddled when it comes to the question about a common man punishing a criminal without having any official authority, and when it's a clash between two criminals, the matter becomes even more vague. How would you judge a man responsible for killing a child predator in jail? Stay tuned to find out the details of this twisted case. Let's revisit the story from the very beginning. In April 2012, Mary and her 9-year-old daughter moved into their new apartment in Grand Haven, right next door to Ted Dyer and his girlfriend. Soon, Mary developed a friendship with the childless couple, and they would talk with each other almost every day. And eventually, Mary started letting her daughter stay with the couple while she worked or ran errands. A year passed, and one night, Mary's daughter was spending time at Ted's apartment. Mary realized it was getting late, so she decided to walk over and walk her daughter home. Mary later told the police that something told her not to knock on Ted's door and just go inside. After entering the apartment, Mary did not see her daughter, but she did see that Ted's bedroom door was slightly open, so she decided to take a peek inside. There, Mary was encountered with a shocking sight. She found Ted molesting her daughter in the corner of the room, and she quickly called the police. Her daughter later confirmed to the police that this was not the first time this had happened, and Ted had been arrested and sent to prison for a minimum of 25 years for first-degree criminal sexual conduct. After going to prison, Ted Dyer met a man named Steven Sanderson. Both men shared the same cell at Saginaw Correctional Facility near Saginaw, and eventually got to sharing the reasons why they were there. Steve explained that after a lifetime of being in and out of jail for minor crimes, he had killed his girlfriend and received a life sentence for life in prison without parole. Ted would tell Steven his story, explaining that he had been set up and he was not guilty of the crime he was being charged with. However, there is one detail that Sanderson had left out of the story that he shared with Ted. He had endured an extremely difficult childhood where he'd been molested several times as a young boy. After hearing Ted's narration, he felt like a fire had been ignited inside of him. When Dyer did not try to justify or deny his actions, Sanderson began to assault him and eventually knocked him unconscious. Using the shoelaces from Ted's own shoes, Steven took 67-year-old Ted's life right there. Even though he was already serving life in prison, 51-year-old Steven was convicted again for murder. As he stood before the court awaiting his sentences, he was asked about taking Ted's life to the second count of murder in the courtroom, and he accepted his crime by pleading guilty.
The reason I killed him was because he was a child molester.
But you did in fact kill him?
Oh, sure.
And you intended to kill him?
Oh, sure, yes. Well, if it's all right, I'd like to tell you where it started.
Go ahead.
All right, well, he was my bunkie, and
Once the verdict was issued and his case became popular, some people hailed Steven Sanderson as a hero for killing his child molester prison cellmate, but Sanderson himself doesn't think he's deserving of the title. At the same time, he said that he simply did the best he could in the situation he was in and the time he had, in response to the criticism he faced for his actions. People had been emailing him to condemn him, saying that he couldn't judge another person and consider himself in the place of God. And Sanderson agreed with this, saying that he recognized God as the supreme authority, but he just arranged a speedy appointment for Ted's trial in front of God. As for Steven himself, he doesn't feel any remorse for strangling Ted, although he might have some sympathy for his family. That's all for this video. The opinions are highly divided on this matter, because while Ted's crime was heinous in and of itself, he was already serving his sentence as deemed fit by the law. Some people believe that Sanderson is overall in the right for killing him, while other people believe that Sanderson's thirst for murder drove him insane. They think Dyer's actions were not the real motivation, and Sanderson just wanted to kill whoever shared a cell with him.